Hello to my favorite class. I know you guys are missing me. I miss seeing you every day. But we're going to go ahead and get started into our next unit. We're going to be talking about the start and the spread of Islam. So to begin with, we're looking at the 6th century. So the Roman Empire, the main Roman Empire has split. The Western Roman Empire has basically fallen. The Byzantine Empire is still there. But off in the Arabian Peninsula, in what is modern Saudi Arabia, Muhammad is born in 570 AD and lives his life. He lives to be 62. He dies in 632 AD in the city of Medina. He was born in the city of Mecca. Both of these are in modern Saudi Arabia. And throughout his life, he becomes a major influential figure in the rest of the world. So, the reason that he becomes this influential figure is that he establishes Islam, which is one of the three biggest religions in the world. There are billions of Muslims today, and they all trace their roots back to Muhammad and the things that he started about 1,500 years ago. 1,300 years ago. I'm a history teacher, not a math teacher. So, a couple of things you need to know off the bat about Islam is that they consider Muhammad the greatest and final prophet. So they believe that Jesus existed, but they don't believe that he was the son of God. They believe that he was just a prophet previous to Muhammad, the second greatest, Muhammad being the greatest. The Quran is the name of the holy book of Islam, and it is very similar to the Bible, really. It has a lot of the same stories because they share a lot of the same heritage. The Muslims consider themselves the children of Ishmael, whereas the Jews and then therefore the Christians consider themselves the children of Isaac, both of whom were sons of Abraham. So Isaac was the line of the Jews that traces through the Bible stories. Ishmael is apparently the line of the people who become Muslims down the road. And so the Quran is the apparent revelation given to Muhammad by the angel Gabriel of the words of Allah. Allah is just the word for God in Arabic, but we keep that word Allah when we're talking about the Muslim God, because Allah and the God of the Bible are very different, as you'll see when you do those worksheets on the surahs, and it talks about some of the same stories that you are probably familiar with from Mr. Howard's classes. Let's see. Islam, the big thing about Islam is that Muhammad starts it, and he has his life, and throughout his life he establishes the beginnings of the Quran and the Hadiths and some of the things that will become Islam, but more than that, he establishes a new culture under this religion that unites the Arabian Peninsula. So it begins as a very divided Bedouin, nomadic kind of culture where each group has their own set of gods. Under Islam, they become united. So first the Arabian Peninsula, and then most of the Middle East, and then all the way across northern Africa. And so by the time we hit the Crusades, we've got an entire united culture that shares religions and shares values that is capable of defeating the great European armies that are coming in that have also got shared religions and things like that. And that's not something that's really changed. If you think about the Middle East today, one of the biggest conflicts is the difference in religious belief and value systems between the East and the West, and the Middle East is stuck in the middle of that. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a list of things that I would like for you to look up, and when you hear your name, then you probably want to pause the video and jot down what it is that you're supposed to find. You will share these answers directly to Slack unless you don't have Slack, in which case you will email them to me. But I would like to make sure that you guys are watching the video and hearing your name. So the first thing that we're going to talk about are the 5 pillars of Islam. There are 5 main beliefs in Islam. So I would like for Roberto, Mosi, Cam, Maurice, and Tyson to please find and name the 5 pillars of Islam along with what they mean. You guys can work together if you want to. If you do that, please let me know. Let's see. The names of Muhammad's wives, and specifically focusing on his favorite wife because she had a lot to do with the development of the religion. DeAndre and Josh, I would like for you guys to do that. Again, you may work together if you wish. If you do, please let me know. Rob, I would like for you to find the name of the language of Islam and why it's important that the language is specific to Islam, or specifically why the Quran stays in one language and why it's not considered accurate as much if it's translated into other languages from that main one. Let's see. The total number of Muslims across the world, Donovic, that's on you. I want you to go find out how many there are and where they are now, where they're concentrated. Not, obviously, there's people of different religions everywhere, but concentration. Give me some countries that are mostly majority Muslim. Peyton, I want you to find the size of the Umayyad Caliphate, which is the beginning of the unification. So that's Umayyad starts U-M-A-Y. You'll find it. But just kind of see where its borders were compared to modern countries today. Marcus, you're on the Ottoman Empire. That's the maximum size of the Islamic Empire, and it's really not that long ago. The Ottoman Empire still existed during World War I. So the Muslims held political power for a really long time across a large percentage of particular places. And I want you guys to tell me what the borders were based on modern countries that exist now. And then the next thing we're going to get into after we get started with this Islam and some of the things in Europe that happened at the same time, we're going to come up to the Crusades. And so there were 3 Crusades, and I would like for Tyvon, Amar, Anthony, and Jeremiah to tell us about the reason behind the Crusades. Start with the first one, work through the second and third. You guys can work together. If you want to just pick one each, that's fine. If you don't want to work with anybody else. But I do want to make sure we get the reasoning behind the Crusades. And, it's not so much whose fault it is, but why did Europe and the Muslim world, almost as a whole, go to war 3 separate times in a very short total period, during the Dark Ages. So, that's going to be our video for today. It's a short assignment. We're just getting started into this. I will be giving some lecture notes, probably have a whiteboard, and try to make it as much like classroom as possible. And I'm also going to be trying to set up a chance for us to hold an interactive discussion. So if you have access to Zoom or WebEx or really anything like that, please let me know so we can try to set up a time where we can have classroom discussions and try to make this a little bit more give and take and not so much just me throwing questions at you when you can't ask me anything in return. If you do have any questions, email or Slack them to me and I will answer them as quickly as possible. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you guys. Hopefully Monday is still the assigned day to come back to school. That could change. We'll find out sometime this week. But either way, I look forward to seeing you guys again soon.